Hello everyone, this is Noel 3D. Today I'm going to show you how you can create the simple photorealistic scene in Blender, and I'm going to show you the ways that I have used to achieve this result. And if you're interested on my project files, you can find them on my Patreon. Not only that, you can also find my personal project files there. That's a great way to support me so that I can keep making videos like this in the future. Let's dive in. So when we start, as you can see, I have a pretty much simple scene with a camera and a reference image. You can find this in the description below. So what I'm going to do is just go to this view, shift right click somewhere around here so that you can snap the cursor. Press shift A and add a cube. After this, I'm going to activate wireframe mode and X-ray mode, and I'm going to press S to scale it. I'm going to scale it until it matches, the size, or the width of this lamp. Press GX to move it in the X direction. Press GZ to move it in the Z direction. Press GZ, move it somewhere around. After this, what I'm going to do is change this pivot point to 3D cursor so that it will scale it according to the 3D cursor. Press SZ and scale it, somewhere around here. After this, go to this view, and I'm going to press S and then Y to scale it in the Y axis. Somewhere around here will be good. After this, go to this face. First, let me go to the edit mode by pressing tab, and let me deactivate this X-ray mode for now. I'm going to select this face, and again I'm going to select this face, the top face, press X and then faces. Now we have this. After this, I'm going to give it a solidify modifier, but as you can see, the solidify is not applied correctly, so press Ctrl A and apply the scale. As you can see, when I do that, the solidify is applied correctly, and I'm going to change this one to complete so that it will be more accurate. After this, let me activate this X-ray mode, and I'm going to adjust the thickness so that it will match this. I'm going to place it somewhere around here. Press GX, let me place it right here, and let me somewhere around here, maybe 0.006 will be good. Yep, maybe 5.6 or something. Yep, something like this. This one is off, so I'm going to go to the edit mode, and I'm going to already, the X-ray modes are activated. I'm going to select a box select, but let me change this one to H selection mode, box select, and press GX. I'm going to move it somewhere around here. After this, make sure that the scale is applied. Press Ctrl A and apply the scale, and I'm going to give it a bevel modifier. After this, let me go to this solid view, and I'm going to adjust the bevel to 0.001, and I'm going to give it a segment of 4. This will be good. After this, I'm going to go to the edit mode again. Let me change this one to point selection, and I'm going to select this 2 points, this 2 points right here, and also this one, and also this one. After this, go to this face right here. I'm going to activate this one. I'm going to press right click and then bevel vertices, and I'm going to bevel it somewhere around here with a segment of 4. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to model the connecting part, this one. So shift right click right here, press shift A and add a cylinder, and I'm going to press RX and then 90, and then RZ and then 90, and I'm going to press S to scale it. Let me activate this X-ray mode in this wireframe mode also so that I can see clearly, and I'm going to scale it and place it somewhere around here. Yep, and I'm going to press SX to scale it in the X-axis. Let me change, shift right click right here, press SX. As you can see, we can scale it something like this. Go to the edit mode by pressing tab, go to face selection mode, deactivate this X-ray mode for now. I'm going to select this face, go to this face again, press E to extrude it and hit escape, and press S to scale it. But let me change this one to median so that it will scale it according to the selection. And I'm going to scale this until it's matched right here, and I'm going to press E to extrude it, place it right here. Let me activate this X-ray mode, and then I'm going to scale it around here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to press Ctrl B to bevel it. But before that, let me make sure that the scale is applied. So get out of the edit mode by pressing tab, press Ctrl A and then apply the scale. Go to the edit mode again. I'm going to select this edge, select this, alt click this edge to select the edge loop, press Ctrl B to bevel it. Somewhere around here will be good. After this, I'm going to select this one, press Ctrl B to bevel it. Something like this will be good. The next thing that we have to do is, as you can see, if I just rotate it, this is not in the middle. So what I'm going to do is, let me deactivate this X-ray mode. Let me go to this object mode, deactivate this one. I'm going to select this one, right click, my first set origin to geometry, just in case the origin is not in the geometry, and then right click again, and then snap cursor selected. After this, I'm going to select this one, right click, selection to cursor. As you can see, that will be exactly in the middle. as you can see. And then after this, I'm going to go to this view, press G, and I'm going to place it, I think, somewhere around here. And after this, the cursor is already right here. I'm going to press Shift D to duplicate it, and then right click, and then mirror global X. But before that, let me change this one to 3D cursor so that it will mirror it according to this 3D cursor. Right click, mirror global X. When I do that, as you can see, it's going to mirror exactly in the global X. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to select this one again. By pressing tab, go to the edit mode. I'm going to select this face and also this face, and then go to mesh and then snap cursor to select. And now the cursor is going to be placed between these two selections so that we can place this lamp exactly between these two selections. So after this, get out of the edit mode by pressing tab, press Shift A and add a cylinder. After this, press RX and 90. And then after this, press S to scale it until the size is equivalent to our reference. I think somewhere around here will be good. And go to this face again, the perpendicular one, press SY, and I'm going to scale it until the scale is, matching the reference. Let me go to the edit mode by pressing tab, or you can just use something right here. I'm going to press this face. Let me activate this one again. For now, press I to insert it. I think somewhere around here will be good. Let me deactivate this X-ray mode. Press E to extrude it. I think somewhere around here will be good. And I'm going to press S to scale it, something like this. After this, I'm going to give it a bevel modifier. Go to the get out of the edit mode and give it a bevel modifier. As you can see, I'm going to give it a segment of 6, and I'm going to adjust the amount to 0.003. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this one to weight. As you can see, when I do that, nothing is happening. The reason I did that is if I go to the edit mode, and if I, for example, alt click this edge right here, I can control the bevel weight right here. So if I make it 1, as you can see, it's going to apply the bevel in 100%. But if I make it, for example, 0.5, as you can see, the 50% of the bevel will be applied. So by this, I can control the bevel of every edge individually. So let me make this one 1. I want this one to be to have 100% bevel. Click this one also. I'm going to give it 1. Just select everything which you want the bevel to be applied 100%, and you can do it together. And I'm going to alt click this edge. I'm going to alt click this edge. Let me give it maybe a bevel of 0.5, and right click and then shade smooth. And I'm going to apply a subdivision surface so that it will be a lot smoother. So after this, what I'm going to do is let me hide this reference. Go to the edit mode by pressing tab, press Ctrl R to add an edge loop right here, and press Ctrl B to bevel it, and scroll your middle mouse downward so that you won't insert any subdivisions. I think somewhere around here will be good. After this, change this one to face selection mode, and then right click and then extrude along normals. I'm going to extrude it along the normals. Somewhere around here will be, I think, will be good. Let me deactivate this one again. I'm going to alt click this edge, shift alt click to select multiple edge lips, and I'm going to give it maybe 0.3 or something. Yep, something like this will be good. So after this, I'm going to apply this subdivision surface so that it will be smoother. I'm going to change the render to 1, since one subdivision will be enough for this one. After this, what I can do, I'm going to apply the bevel, as you can see. And let me deactivate this first. For now, let me deactivate this one. And after this, I'm going to go to face selection mode, shift alt click this edge. As you can see, this one, it's going to select the entire face loop, and press Ctrl plus in your numpad. But I'm going to just do it manually. Hold on alt shift and click this edge. It's going to click select the edge loops, and after this, right click and extrude along normals. It's going to extrude it along the normals, as you can see. I think something like this will be good. After this, go to the this vertex and then activate auto smooth, as you can see. And I'm going to activate this extra mode, I mean the subdivision surface. Now we have finished modeling the lamp, as you can see, so I can just delete this one. The last thing that I have forgot to do is I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to go to the edit mode by pressing tab. I'm going to select this edge selection mode, and I'm going to select this edge and this edge. After this, I'm going to go to this face, press Ctrl B to bevel it, and scroll your middle mouse to add subdivisions, as you can see. I think somewhere around here will be good, and I'm going to use 8 number of subdivisions so that it will be a lot smoother. And after this, I think we are good to go. just right click and shade smooth, that will be a lot smoother. After this, I'm just going to select this reference and I'm going to delete it. After this, let me model the floor. What I'm going to do, so I'm just going to select this one, press N in my keyboard, and I'm going to make the X dimension to 0.15. After this, let me apply the scale, press Ctrl A and apply the scale, as you can see, and I'm going to give it a solidify modifier. I think somewhere around here would be good. After this, I'm going to give it a bevel modifier. I think the bevel is a little bit too much, so I'm going to make the amount to 0.001, maybe 0.003 will be good. Let me give it a value of 4. And after this, I'm going to give it an R modifier, something like this, as you can see. And I'm going to increase the amount of the count. I'm going to press 0 on my camera mode so that it will be enough in my camera mode. Press GX. I think somewhere around here would be good. After this, let me model the surrounding. So what I'm going to do is shift right click right here, press shift A and add a plane, and then go to the top face. Let me activate the snap and let me change this one to edge selection mode. I mean the edge mode. Press GY and I'm going to snap it right here. And after this, I'm going to go to the edit mode and I'm going to select this edge, press E to extrude it in the x-axis and in the z-axis. After this, I'm going to select this face selection mode. I'm going to select this face, press X and then faces. And I'm going to use this face to model the window. So I'm going to select this one, press I to insert it. I think something like this will be good. I'll click this edge to select this edge loop fully. Make sure that you have deactivate this snap button and press E to extrude it. I think somewhere around here will be good. After this, press Ctrl R and slide your middle mouse upward so that you can increase the edge loop. I'm going to use 2 number of cuts. After this, I'll click this, but before that, let me change this one to face selection mode. I'll click this edge and press E to extrude it. As you can see, I can extrude it somewhere around here. After this, I'm going to give it a bevel modifier, and I'm going to give it a segment of 2. Since this is not going to be visible from the camera view, we're not going to worry about it that much. After this, let me select this one, press P and then selection so that it will be separate material. This will be our glass. After this, go to the edit mode by pressing tab, press A, and I'm going to press E to extrude it, and I'm going to extrude it just a little bit so that it will have a thickness, since this is going to be acting as the glass. And I'm going to delete this bevel since we're not going to need the bevel for the glass, and press GY, and I'm going to move it somewhere around here. But before that, I can move it outside of the edit mode. Press GY, I think somewhere around here will be good. I can select this window panel and I'm going to select one of the edges right here. And I'm going to press Shift D and then P and then selection. This will make it a separate material. So after this, select this edge, press E and then X to extrude it in the X axis. And I'm going to select this one also again, press E and then Z somewhere around here. Press E. Just by this, just all I have to do is model the room. So as you can see, I've modeled my room. If I press H, as you can see, we have our scene right here. If I press Alt H, I can see my room right here. So the next thing that we have to do after we have modeled the house is to place the assets inside the scene. So I have already have the assets that I'm going to use for this tutorial. As you can see, these are the assets. I have made them assets so that I can place them easily. So the first thing is, let me just select everything right here. And let me press Ctrl P and then object transform. So whenever I move this one, as you can see, everything will move along with it, so that I can navigate it easily. Press 0 on my numpad, and I'm going to press RZ and change this one to median so that it will revolve around this object's median. Press G and Shift Z to move it with neglecting the Z axis. I think somewhere around here will be good. After this, I'm going to select this one. I'm going to change this one to local so that it will rotate along its local axis. Press RX. I think somewhere around here will be. I think somewhere around here will be good. Yep. So after this, I think this one is in the first. I'm going to place it right here, and I'm going to press RZ. I think like this. I think it's going to place perfectly on the ground. After this, I'm going to use this one. This one, I think, as you can see, it's going to sense the top face of the object that you are going to place this upon, and I'm going to move it somewhere around here, and I'm going to place the pane right here. Press RZ, I think, move it somewhere around here, and I'm going to place the cup right here, and I'm going to press RZ, I think, place it right here, and I'm going to use this one as the foreground, so that it's not going to be visible that much. But so if I just go to the camera mode, press RZ, maybe something like this. Press G and Shift Z. But let me change this one to local. Sorry, press G and then Shift Z so that it will be moving it only on the X and Y axis. And I'm going to select this one, everything right here. Press G, Shift Z, and I'm going to just adjust it so that it will look good. So as you can see, I have finished placing those assets perfectly as I want them to be placed. The next thing that we have to do is we have to texture the objects that does not have any textures. As you can see, the floor and the window or something. So let's do that. So for the floor, I used this plank 001 from ambientcg.com. You can find the link in the description below. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide this upward and change this one to shader editor, as you can see, and I'm going to hit plus to add a new material. Sorry, let me change this one to object, and after this I'm just going to hit new, and after this I will click this principal base div and select Ctrl Shift T in your keyboard. It will pop out this folder and just select the folder that you have placed your textures. So as you can see, this is the file. So I'm just going to select the color, the displacement, the normal, I think this one, and the roughness. After this, I'm just going to click principal texture setup. This will set up the textures for you. You don't have to do anything. In case if this is not working for you, all you have to do is just go to edit and then preferences. In the add-ons, make sure that you have activated a node wrangler add-on. This is the add-on responsible for making this a node setup. After this, let me go to EV material preview to see what I have got. As you can see, this is the result that I have got. As I have done in the previous tutorial, you can do just to make this one a little bit more detailed. Press Shift A and add RGB curves. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this one something like this and make this one right here. It's just I can create more detail using, as you can see, I can make the, sorry, Control Z. As you can see, I can create a contrasty image out of this one image texture. Just go to the red again. You can just give it. I have manipulated things until I got this result. As you can see, just the red part is like this and the curve is like this. I do not use any the green and the blue channel. Let's also give this lamp a material. So what I'm for this lamp part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit plus to add a new material, and I'm going to press new, and I'm going to rename it to the name that I want it to be. And for this one, let me make it lamp, and I'm going to hit another, which is going to be the emission, which is going to be for the emission part of the lamp. And I'm going to press new, and I'm going to change this one to emission, and I'm going to rename this to light, and I will change the color somewhere around here. I think somewhere around should be good. For now, I'm just going to make the strings to be 0. We can control the strings after we have started lighting up the scene. For this handle, you can just press new, and you can just do the same process that I have used right here. You can just use any kind of set textures from ambientcg.com. And for this part, this is the connector. I'm going to give it a new, and I'm going to make it somehow a metallic. And I'm going to decrease the roughness somewhere around here. And for the glass material, all I used is just combine this glass in transparent BSDF with a light pass, and I use a math node greater than with the threshold value of 10. In case if you want this, just press Shift A and add a glass. As you can see, this is the glass BSDF, and again just transparent right here. And for this one, it's just math node. Press M80H, and you will find this right here, and change this one to a greater than, and just plug this one to right here, and just make the threshold to 10. And this one is light path. Just search light path and you will find it. So this is just a material that I use for the glass. It's nothing complicated. You can use another setup for the glass, but I think this will be good for this tutorial. And for this for the house, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have select this plank, and I'm going to just drag and drop it right here. I don't need to UV unwrap it or do anything, but just in case, I'm going to select this one, press A, and then press but before that, let me go to edge selection mode. Just select sharp edge. It's going to select the sharp edge. Just right click and then mark seam. After this, press N in your keyboard. Make sure that the scale is applied so that when I'm going to UV unwrap it, it's going to be properly unwrapped. So go to the edit mode, press U, and then unwrap. As you can see, we have the proper wood texture. Since this is going to be out of focus, if I go to the camera, select the camera and activate this depth of field, and I'm going to just select this cup. this is not going to be visible that much, so I'm not going to worry about it that much. And also it's not going to get that much light so that it can be visible, so just don't worry about it that much. Worry about the part that are visible from your camera. When you are working on the view that's only visible from the camera, you can save a lot of time. So for the lighting, first I'm going to use Hdri lighting. So to do that, I just can go to world and I can just press Shift A and add environment texture and plug this one right here to the color, and I can just click open and select the HDRI that I have downloaded. The next alternative is to use a free add-on called Easy HDRI. You can select this folder. You can select the folder that you have downloaded those HDRIs. I have downloaded a lot of them from polyhaven.com or HDRI Haven from its previous name. After this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this fix world nodes. When I do that, it's going to create a node setup for my HDRI. As you can see, I have a lot of control, but I can also control the parameters right here. After this, you can just select the wide variety of HDRIs that you have downloaded. For this one, I am going to select this first one since it gives me a really good vibe for this specific scene. After this, if I go to the render view, as you can see, this is the result that I have got out of the box without doing even anything. After this, let me adjust my cycle settings. If you have a GPU device, just make sure this is GPU. After this, in the viewport, I'm going to activate this Denos, as you can see, and I'm going to change this one to albedo on normal. And we're not going to talk about the render. And for the color management, just make sure that you are using Filmic. In your case, I'm using a different color management system, but in Blender 3.0, you can just use Filmic, and you can use the look as your preference. I'm using best contrast. After this, let me give it a value of 3 so that a lot of light will come through the window. After this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this one. As you can see, we have assigned 2 materials previously, so what I'm going to do is just go to the edit view. After that, I'm going to select this face right here, this one, and I'm going to select the light, and I'm going to hit assign. After this, let me give it a value of, for example, 5. As you can see, when I do that, we are getting the light. After this, let me just make it a little bit more warm. I think the scene is a little bit too much blown up, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to return to the value of the original one. So the next thing that we have to do is, as you can see, this is a little bit, this portion of the scene is a little bit dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a white plane to reflect the light that's coming from the window. So just shift right click right here, press Shift A and add a plane, press R, Y, and then 90 degrees, and I'm going to press GX and move it somewhere around here. Let me hide this for now. After this, let me press Shift D to duplicate it and place it right here, and then again press Shift D, and then maybe I'm going to use Alt D. Just delete this one again, press Alt D and press X to move it in the X-axis. The reason I'm using Alt D is this two will have the same parameters, and whenever I make change to this one on the edit mode, and whenever I make material change to this one, it's going to be applied on this one also. And I'm going to press Alt D again, press RZ, and then 90 degree, and I'm going to place it somewhere around here. I'm going to use this plane so that the light will be reflected from this one and light up the black portions of my scene. I think let me select this one, and I'm going to rotate it like this so that it will light up this part of the scene. So after this, what I'm going to do is let me move it right here, press 0 on my numpad, and press Alt H to unhide everything. And in case if one of the planes is distracting the camera view, press GX, and I'm going to move it like this. Now I can see clearly, and I'm going to press Alt H to unhide everything. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select one of this material, press New. So you can see this is the default material. So if I go to the render view, as you can see, I'm having as you can see, bounce light right here. For example, if I make this black, as you can see, it's a lot darker. And if I just make it as white, for example, when I increase the value, which will make it more white, as you can see, I am getting a lot of, more reflection. So that's the one method that you can use, to create a really good lighting in your scene. And also what we can do is, if I just activate this show overlays, I can just select this, as you can see, the plane. If I press GX to move it in the X-axis, as you can see, I'm getting a lot of reflection, which will light up the scene even more. So you can use these two methods to create a soft lighting in your scene. The first one is, as I have said, you can just control the color. Whenever it's black, light is not going to be reflected off of this plane. And also you can press GX, as you can see, you can move it closer to the window or closer to the subject, and more light will be reflected to the scene. So by using this method, you can just adjust the lighting scheme that you are interested in. The next thing that we have to do is we have to add some kind of volumetric. So what I'm going to do is just shift right click right here, I'm going to change this one to solid view. Let me select this house and hide it. After this, press Shift A and I'm going to add a cube, and I'm going to activate this X-ray mode, and I'm going to press SX to scale it in the X-axis, and go to this view again, press SZ to Z to scale it in the Z-axis, press GZ. I think somewhere around here will be good. Press SY to scale in the Y-axis. I don't think we need that much volumetrics. I think something like this will be good. Press SZ. I think something like this will be good. After this, I'm going to change this one to world, object. And let me deactivate this X-ray mode so that I can see what I'm working with. And also let me go to my camera mode, and I'm going to click this render view. As you can see, we're not seeing anything. I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to delete this principal base diff and press Shift A and type principal volume. And I'm going to plug this to the volume. As you can see, when I do that, I have something. And I'm going to press Alt to unhide everything. After this, as you can see, I'm getting a really good looking scene without even adjusting any of this, volumetric. But for this scene, I'm not going to use this setting. I'm just going to decrease the density to 0.1. I don't want that much density of, volumetrics. After this, let me give it an emission strength of 0.01, and I'm going to give the emission color a little bit of warmness, so that we have that warm feeling that you have seen in the rendering. The next final thing for the lighting is, if I press Alt H, as you can see, I have placed some kind of, light effects behind the window. So to do that, what I have done is, it's simply, if I just go to the solid view, as you can see, I have simply used a bunch of point lights with a different intensity in the color. As you can see, this one has 5 watt, and this one 2.25, in order to add light. In case if you don't know how to add light, press Shift A and add a light and select the point light. It will be placed on the place where the cursor is. But I'm going to delete this one and press Shift right click right here. As you can see, I'm Shift right click right here. As you can see, now the cursor is right there. Press Shift A and add a point light. You can control the size of this light and the power, as you can see right here. So by using this, you can create this effect that you are seeing right here. So pretty much we have finished the everything that's dealing with the modeling, the texturing, and the lighting. The next thing that we have to do is to create this smoke texture. To do that, I'm going to use alpha textures from textures.com. For the smoke simulation and the animation, I'm going to show you in the next tutorial. So when we go to creating the smoke, what I'm going to do is just go to the solid view, and then let me hide this volumetrics. Shift right click right here, and then press Shift A and go to the image and select this image as planes. In case if this is not showing up, what you have to do is go to Edit and Preferences. In the add-ons, make sure that you have activated images planes, this add-on. When you do that, you can have this option right here. So I'm just going to select this images planes. I have imported it, as you can see, and I'm going to scale it until it matches. For now, let me select both of them and click /number so that I can see clearly. So I'm just going to select this one and place it somewhere around here. Will be good. I think something like this will be good. After this, I'm going to go to the edit mode, and I'm going to press K to knife out the parts that I don't need. I don't think I need this part. So what I'm going to do is just select this one right here. I'm going to select something like this, and then press enter at last. After this, I'm going to select this face, press X, and then faces. After this, what I'm going to do is to set up the material, go to the rendered view, go to the top view again. Let me place it in the middle, press GY and place it somewhere around here. And as you can see, this is the material of this smoke. Let me plug the color to the alpha. When I do that, I don't see the smoke that much. So to see everything clearly, I'm going to change this one to make it a lot brighter. As you can see, when I do that, I can see it clearly. So if I press /number to animate everything and press 0 on my camera mode to get into the camera mode, and if I go to the render view, now I can see my smoke. But the smoke is a little bit too much, right? It's intense for this scene. So to change that, what I'm going to do is first I'm going to change the color of this emission. Let me place it right here, and let me change it somewhere, make it a little bit more warm so that it will fit the scene. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to decrease the strength to maybe 0.6 or something. Yep, I think something like this will be good. And for the rendering, I'm going to go to render properties, and I'm going to in the render tab, make sure that you have activated this denoise, and make sure that the paths are albedo and normal. For the final render, make sure that you are using open image denoiser. After this, I think I did not change pretty much anything. I use this. The next thing that you can do is go to this output properties, and you can just increase the resolution so that you have a really high detailed render. You can just hit times 2, make it times 2. You can just times 2 render a 2K image, and you can just also make it times 2, and you can just render a 4K image. That's really based on your preference. I think I'm going to use this one. So after this, what I'm going to do is hit render and render image. This will render out the image. And guys, this is all for today. If you like my video, please consider liking my video and subscribing to my channel so that I can keep making videos like this in the future. And see you in the next tutorial.